Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of A Piece of V Season 2, Episode 2. It is I, your host, Vanessa Makete. Joining me is a very lovely lady that I personally look up to. Not only is she a wife, she's a mom, a career woman, she's everything and more. I will not introduce her. Instead, I'll allow her introduce herself because I know, guys, she's going to offload everything that you need to know about submission and financial independence, like the title suggests. Everybody, please put your hands together and welcome the lady of the hour, the lady of the moment, Mrs. Gladys Siatembo Mubana. Welcome.
Good evening, Vanessa. Good evening, listeners. As the interviewer has said, my names are Mrs. Gladys Siatembo Mbanga, an ambitious career woman, a selfless woman, a mother, and a wife. I operate in the aviation industry. I work at Zega at the airport. I'm a senior supervisor at the customer service department. So I'm privileged to be part of this podcast, and I hope whatever I'm going to articulate will be of knowledge to all of you listening. Thank you.
Man, am I excited? I told everyone to be keen to listen to this particular episode. It's very interesting when you see women taking the leads and just trying to understand how the balance all this. When I look at my life right now, I just got home from work and I feel exhausted. But then there are obviously times when you get home, you have to take care of the kids, check on them, do their homework, serve your husband. Like, how on earth do you manage to do that? It's like you're superwoman. How on earth do you do that?
I think it's because I'm supported by a partner who listens, respects, shares, and practices openness and honest communication. Really, as a career woman and as a mother, it's really not hard to process the two. But all in all, I give 100% to my children whenever I'm off duty, and we also have shared responsibilities. I also make time to rest when they go to school, and above all, whenever I'm working, I check on them regularly.
Amazing. Well, getting into the topic of discussion, submission and financial independence. I sat down and thought about this a lot because I feel many young women that look to get married one day or that are finding it very difficult to sort of like navigate this whole thing. Like, how do I make it work? Those are situations where we see these young ladies who used to look good before marriage, and then after marriage they just look very disappointed and sad and depressed. But it's because of the responsibility that comes with it. You're so gorgeous, you look amazing, you don't even look as though you've got kids. Just in case no, please help them understand how many kids you have and for how long you have been married, because I know this lady, she smells very good and she looks amazing. She doesn't even look like a mom. If you put her and me together, would probably look the same age. That's how good she looks.
Okay, well, I've been married for 10 years. This year on the 11th of December, we'll be clocking 11 years.
How do you think women in our modern society understand the true meaning of submission in marriage? I came to an understanding that we have many marriages in Zambia, and most of them are very young people that are getting into marriages. So, do you feel there's this submission that should be accorded to a man, or is submission less because women are now earning their own money and owning their own space now?
Yeah, truthfully speaking, I feel not everyone understands what submission is in marriage. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say only 4 maybe would understand what true submission in a relationship or marriage is. A woman's duty in a relationship or marriage is to submit. But the word submit has been misunderstood. Not everyone understands what submission is. On a scale of
Right.
1 to 10, I would say maybe only 4 would understand what true submission in a relationship or marriage is. A woman's
Mm-hmm.
duty in a relationship or marriage is to submit. But I feel the
Yes.
word submit has been misunderstood. It feels like slavery or taking away a woman's voice or vision, which is actually not. So
Mm-hmm.
submission is acknowledging the man as the head. But today, many ladies have brought equality between themselves and men. Speaking from a
Mm-hmm.
biblical perspective, I feel submission is being more selfless, giving service, accountability, and respect for your partner.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
So amazing, amazing. So what do you what do you think submitting to your husband in marriage really is now? Like you've already alluded, you said it's being selfless, but now, like, what do you feel women this time think submission is? Like, where is their head at when they think of submission? Like, does it mean handing over your money to your husband or sponsoring him to school? Like, what exactly is submission in lines of money?
Um, in lines of money, I feel okay. Well, submission in marriage, as a
Mm-hmm.
wife and towards a husband, to me, is a spirit of respect. So where money
Mm-hmm.
is concerned, I think with our current generation, we have advantaged women who are educated, very educated more than our men. So
Oh
sometimes they
yes.
feel they want to take the lead. But we are
Mm-hmm.
reminded in the Bible to say, as women, we need to submit. Whether
Oh
you are
yes.
of high caliber, you are of lower character, we just need to submit. Money wise,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's quite tricky. But if you are really a person who understands the word of God, it doesn't mean you give your all again. No, there's again, I wouldn't say that because I'm also a career woman. But of course,
Exactly.
there are discussions that you have in a house where money is concerned. So you
Mm-hmm.
reach at a point where you agree. So I feel where money is concerned, it's mostly about communication. My husband needs to know how much I get. I need to know how much he gets. And then we put our heads together. Of course, I cannot give in everything because I also need to pursue other things. He also needs to pursue other things. But we've got one goal in common, which is to brighten up our future. We also have kids to look up to. So in that context, submission comes in. Be it money, without money, we have to submit.
Do you think submitting to your husband in marriage is harder for a working woman more than it is for a housewife?
I'll be very honest with you. Career
Mm-hmm.
women, most career women, not everyone, but most career women find it difficult generally to submit because of pride.
Oh yes.
So, like I said, a woman who earns more than her husband will find it hard to submit, especially
Mm-hmm.
even those who are advantaged educationally. And if the man is not even doing anything, it will even be very hard for a woman to obey. But the
Oh yes.
goal for submission is that it gives birth to love. So when you submit, then there's love in a home. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would say to myself and to my fellow working women generally is to exhibit
Yes.
total submission to our husbands all the time. Submission gives birth to love. It gives birth to love. So if there's no love in the house, then submission will not take place. So as working women, including myself, generally, I would say we need to exhibit total submission to our husbands at all times. And our husbands as well should also love us. For
Oh
marriage
yes.
to work out, it must be a 40-60 level of tolerance. If it's 50-50, believe me, it won't work out. You both can't be the head of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Amazing. So, if I may ask, what is your relationship with money like?
Oh, my relationship with money. We are married.
Ma-
I I feel very safe with money, very secure. You know why? Because I'm able to provide for myself and others. My joy comes from the sacrifices that I make with money. It's actually a form of exchange for me to meet my material needs and wants. So I'm married.
And I love that answer a lot. I feel I'm that way with money, except I haven't gotten to your level of I just
Okay.
haven't gotten to that level, but then I'm getting there soon enough.
Hmm.
That said, do you feel self care is a priority on your budget? So each time you draw a budget back at home, do you allocate a certain amount of money and say, okay, this is for myself, away from my husband, away from my kids. This is just for me to feel good about myself, what I do.
100%. I do give
Mhm.
myself permission to feel good and I get what I want because I believe self care is basically the practice for me to take care of my health and my well being. I need to look good. I need to take care of my kids. I need to take care of my needs. So, yes, it's there on my budget.
Exactly, it must be. I feel trying to explain to young ladies or women out there that actually don't prioritize this. For me, this is very key. It's something that I don't do regularly, but then I'm trying to change. I have a shift of perspective now. How important is it for you to take care of yourself, to put yourself above everything else? It's
I
not
feel
always. Mm-hmm.
mhm,
You're.
it's actually very important. It boosts my self esteem because actually
Mm-hmm.
it starts from looking good, feeling good, having good health. Imagine if I'm not in good health, how will I bring out myself to people? How will I carry myself? How will I be a role model to people? So it starts
Oh
with
yes.
me first. I need to take care of my health. I need to take care of myself. I need to watch how I look, how I dress, because I know there are people out there who are looking out for me. So it is my priority, and on my budget it's always there. And I would encourage each and every woman out there to never neglect themselves into looking good. I always encourage women to take care of themselves, look good, smell good, and also don't neglect the other things that you need to do as a woman. But looking good is top priority. It will actually speak a lot about you just by looking at somebody who's looking good. People be like, obvious, Ava. I'm sure they are from the university, even when you are not. So there's just a way it speaks about you.
Would you quit your job if your partner asked you to quit your job?
To be honest, I would never do that unless I have no other choice. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I need to to look after my future. My husband can easily fall tomorrow. He can be incapacitated. Money can just
Oh yeah.
leave us. So what happens? So it's
Mm-hmm.
not a decision that I can make.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. I just want you to place so much emphasis on financial knowledge. In in a time where knowledge is just at our fingertips, some of us or many young people tend to have wrong information. But then, do you think it's very important that young people educate themselves about finances before they get into marriage? Because I feel, we're counseled about so many things. They'll counsel you about how to take care of the home and everything, are not that big of a deal when you're being cancelled. So my question is, what would be your advice to people that cancel couples that are soon to be married and are going to start a life together?
Okay, aside from other topics that they handle, I feel financial discussion is very important and should be priority because if
Mm-hmm.
not handled well in a marriage, this is what leads to argument.
Oh yes.
So financial discussions should be tackled at a counseling process, even when you get married, because others feel even after tying the knot, it's too late to talk about finances, and that would lead
Mm-hmm.
to couples fighting. So it's
Yes.
very important to sit. You need to know what your partner ends. What is your vision? What do you think about it? You need to put ideas together. Believe me,
Mm-hmm.
once you sit together, you put ideas together financially, you'll never have a problem. Because then if one partner is hiding and the other one is trying to be submissive, then there'll be a problem in the house. So there's a reason why God put you together as one. So you need to put finances together and achieve whatever you want to achieve together.
I want us to end on a very, very high note because we are both women and we are all looking to get to greater heights in life. are all
Mm-hmm.
aspiring great recognition in society and everywhere generally. So what are your closing remarks to the girl child and the man who's to love his wife and the woman who's to submit to her husband? What are your closing remarks? What would you love the young person out there who's listening to learn from you?
I think what I would say is the same love that you showed each other during courtship should be the love that should continue in marriage. Be
Mm-hmm,
submissive to your husband, and as a husband, love your wife unconditionally. Support
mm-hmm,
her in everything that she does. As a woman, also, do not feel submission is slavery. No, it's something that
mm-hmm,
was commanded to us by God. Some of us have managed to be in our marriages for the past 10 years because of submission. It hasn't been an easy road, to be honest. I would not say all the time I've been submissive, but whenever I derailed, God will bring me back
mm-hmm.
right on track. So even as
Oh
a
yeah.
woman, when you fail, please look up to God. God is always there to guide us. In an event that you forget to be submissive, in an event that you forget to be, even when you are educationally advantaged, please do not forget your husband. Do not forget where you come from. All those things are a blessing from God. There's a reason why God blesses us more. It's in order to look up to our family and also to be role models to the people out there who look up to us.
Oh
So as a
yes.
woman, be good looking, speak good of yourself, support other people, be a role model to your children, never abandon your family, and above all, submit to your husband. Men as well, be loving, be supportive, be the head of the house, and also, above all, listen to God's word. Never look elsewhere besides the woman that God gave you at the altar.
Amazing. That was so beautiful. I just got so emotional. I was right
Thank
there
you.
feeling everything that you are saying. Well, my listeners, this was our episode. I told you she was going to offload. I knew the task I assigned her to do, and it took so much for her to actually night she made time and she made this a priority. I'm so grateful, Mrs. Mubanga, for your support and your constant guidance and how you inspire me, whether you know this or not. I'm grateful for everything that you have taught me silently and loudly. So, to my dear listeners out there, please do not forget to favorite this particular episode. Also, follow me on all my social media handles. Vanessa Makecha is my name. DM me whenever you can. You can also send me voice notes. Just give me your thoughts on this particular episode. If it's really helped you, if it's going to help someone or someone that you know, please just let me know. Like I said, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to my Facebook page, and also, guys, this podcast is available on Anchor FM as well as and also Apple Podcasts. It's available on Spotify as well. So do not forget favorite this particular episode, like, share, and please subscribe. Hit that notification button. You have been with me, your host, Vanessa Makete, and my lovely guest, Mrs. Gladys Siatembo Mubanga. From the both
Yeah.
of us, it's good night and God bless. Thank you, Mrs.
Good night.
Mubanga.
Good night. Good night. Oh, thank you so much.